It's my pleasure to be here today to announce the commencement of an independent tax review and the appointment of 5 members to the Independent Tax Review Committee. I am pleased to announce that our government's plan to eliminate the provincial portion of the book tax is started effective today as well. The HST on books is administered on our behalf by the federal government. We are targeting January 1st of 2018 for the removal of the tax, and we'll be able to confirm this date once we've completed our discussions with the federal government. There is a 120-day application process that we have to follow with the federal government to have the tax removed. At this time, I would like to welcome some members of the Independent Tax Review Committee and to tell you a little bit about their background. The 5-person committee includes experts with backgrounds in economics, taxation, and public policy, with representation from business, social, and labor sectors. Sitting next to me is the chair of the Independent Tax Review Committee, Mr. Steve Jarrett. Mr. Jarrett has over 25 years' experience in fiscal relations, economics, and management. He is currently the Chief Administrative Officer and Town Manager for the town of Botwood, and has previously worked for the Newfoundland and Labrador Medical Association, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Newfoundland and Labrador, and as an executive with Central Health, the Territory of Nunavut's Department of Finance, and with the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador with the Department of Finance and with Executive Council. We also have in the room with us today Mr. Brian Bonnell. Mr. Bonnell is a chartered professional accountant living and practicing in Corner Brook. He is currently a board member with several private businesses and has served as a past board member of the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency. Also with us today is Ms. Carol Furlong. Ms. Furlong has worked extensively with the labor movement and also has a strong working background in consumer protection. She currently sits on the board of directors for the Canadian Labour Institute. Our other members are Mr. Peter Woodward. Mr. Woodward of Happy Valley Goose Bay is President and CEO of the Woodward Group of Companies, President of Labrador Motors, and President of Markland Realty. As well, we have Reverend Marion Pardee. Ms. Pardee has expertise in education, public speaking, respectful dialogue, and working in multi-faith and community environments. She served as a board member on Stella's Circle for 24 years and continues her participation as board emeritus. She is also a director on the Religious and Social Action Coalition and a member of the International Women's Forum. I'm also pleased, I'm very pleased to be announcing the beginning of the Independent Tax Review and the appointment of our committee members. The provincial government committed to undertake a comprehensive review of the current tax system as outlined in the way forward, realizing our potential. Given the state of the province's finances, we need a balanced approach, an approach that takes into consideration the financial needs of the province, as well as being fair and competitive for the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. We now have the opportunity to step back and review our entire tax system, including the changes that were brought forth in Budget 2016. Our government is committed to ensuring the province's tax system is fair to all residents, including seniors, people on fixed incomes, and our working class. Today's announcement to eliminate the provincial portion of the book tax and a review of our tax system marks a critical step in realizing our commitment. Ensuring the province's tax system is competitive, balanced, and less cumbersome will help attract investment and provide an incentive for young families and businesses to put down roots in our province. With the membership being composed of a wide range of experience and expertise, I know that the review will be a key component to restoring fiscal confidence in our province. The main objectives of the independent tax review are to ensure the tax system is competitive and fair, identify ways to simplify the tax system, and reduce costs for both government and taxpayers. As committed to in the way forward, realizing our potential, both personal and business taxes will be evaluated during the review, including but not limited to personal income tax, gasoline tax, tobacco tax, retail sales tax on insurance premiums, retail sales tax on used vehicles, and the harmonized sales tax. Corporate income tax, health and post-secondary education tax, otherwise known as the payroll tax, insurance companies tax, and the financial corporation's capital tax. Mining and mineral rights tax will not be part of the scope of the Independent Tax Committee, as these are already under review through a separate process. As well, certain business incentive tax credits are not included, as these are also already under review through the Effective Business Incentives Review led by the Department of Tourism, Culture, Industry and Innovation with the support of the Department of Finance. Both of these other reviews will feed into the independent tax review being announced here today. We will have a complete overview of these within government to see how these independent pieces of the puzzle make a larger picture. The scope of our tax review will consider the province's sources of revenue, tax revenue, our new tax incentives, including labor-based tax incentives for emerging industry and tax incentives for employers in the skilled trades who increase the number of apprentices they take on. The tax review will also consider the tax capacity of our province, taking into account issues such as competitiveness and economic impacts. There are a number of guiding principles set out in the terms of reference for the Independent Tax Review Committee. Some principles that they will take into consideration include fairness and equity. Are they fair and equitable to our society? Competitiveness. Are our taxes competitive with other jurisdictions? Effectiveness. The program's ability to meet its stated goals. Economic efficiency. What are the economic impacts? Utilization. The degree to which a targeted group avails of a tax credit. Administrative efficiency. Can we minimize the administrative burden for both taxpayers and government? Budgetary impact. Consider the impacts on our government's revenue or expenditures. Essentially, are there better ways and methods of moving forward? Relevance. Is the tax credit still relevant given changes in family composition, industry, and market composition? And simplicity. The tax system should be simple for the public to understand and easy for government to administer. The Independent Tax Review Committee will conduct their review over the next 12 months and provide regular updates to the Department of Finance on their progress. The committee will complete their review by the end of September 2018, and a final report is expected November 2018 for consideration of all recommendations prior to Budget 2019. During this review period, stakeholder and public consultations will be held to gather input from the public on how they see the outcome of this review. Once the committee has had a chance to discuss plans for these consultations, they will provide details to the general public. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today, and I look forward to working with the members of the Independent Tax Review Committee and seeing their final recommendations.